Alright, what is up you guys? It is Jake State Farm here with Atomic Theory, back with another Atomic Chess video. For today's video, we are facing Natso in the third and final round of the Atomic Chess League Season 2. And I'm just going to real quickly, the match starts in about 10 minutes here, so I'm going to real quickly try to go through my prep. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do as much prep this time around as I was some other times. But I still think there's a lot of great things to look at here. And mainly what I found against Natso, what I want to try to do against him is play something that I know he's not expecting, play something that I've played out of my 40,000 games. I've played this less than 100 times, starting with this move knight to c3. And here you'll see in Natso's database, he really will most likely respond with either knight f6 or e6. The thing with Natso is he's a pretty smart guy, and I think he'll know that if I'm playing this move, I will have prepped against him. So there is a solid chance that he goes into knight f6. I haven't done too much prep in this line, to be honest. But basically the main idea is after e3, he could go knight e4, after which I would just simply take and get a comfortable position. After pawn to e6, I can respond with something like knight to f3. But if he does go for knight g4, which is more likely, then I will continue with this main line. You'll most likely see pawn to f6 from Natso. And I'm trying to remember after knight takes h2. Okay, it's just mate. Never mind. Thought there was, maybe I'm thinking about a different line there. But yeah, so then in this position, sacrifice the knight g5. And here, queen a5 is a possibility, after which I guess I can show a little bit of this line. There's some fun traps here, but Natso could outplay me here. It looks kind of rough. It's bishop and two knights for a queen with the queen undeveloped. But the thing is, h3 is coming, f5 and e4 are coming to get this bishop out and put pressure on this pawn. So even though it looks kind of rough for white here, where you're down a lot of material, white actually does have a lot of chances here. I am just going to go through this pretty quickly though. Here there's this nice move king f1. And basically, there's almost no way to stop b3 and bishop a3 here, hitting this e-pawn. And also, obviously, knight f7 is a threat as well here. So there's some more prep that I did here, but I'm just going to try to go over this quickly. Also, we very well could see e6. I'm planning on, as long as it goes well the first time, I'm planning on playing this move knight c3 at least a couple times. So we may see e3. And here I want to play this move d4, which I've never played before in this position. And once again, bishop b4 is the more common response, but personally, I honestly think he could go for knight c6, just trying to throw me off a little bit. But after this, I would respond with knight to f3, pretty much have to play f6. And then after e4, it almost transposes into like a castle spam type position and the two knights, where yes, there are some very clear differences here. But I looked at this line quite a bit, like after knight h6, you would just go h3, knight g4, king h1. So, you obviously can't take here because the queen's coming out. And then at that point, I'm also threatening knight g5. So there's some more stuff that I looked at here. But in general, this position is pretty simple for white to play. But what I honestly think he would do is play knight c6, just trying to play something that it's a little offbeat, since he'll know that I prepped for him. And here it starts a couple crazy lines. I'm just going to show you one line. There's a bunch of crazy lines here. After queen h5, knight to f3, we play this move g4, and it looks like all hope is lost after knight b4, but this transposes into a crazy line after you sack the knight, sack the queen, trade off knights, and now you're in a position where you're down a pawn, but actually it's white that has all the chances here, funnily enough. It starts a crazy combination. After bishop g5, black has to play f6 or bishop b4, it doesn't matter. So they go f6. Once again, you can either go bishop b4 or takes. It's the only two moves. Let's say you take. Now you absolutely have to play bishop b4, so any of those positions would have just transposed into this. And then in this position, I won't go over it completely, but there's some really cool ideas. As you can see, some of the stuff I have highlighted, there's some cool ideas if black, like some bishop e2, forcing out h5, and then going h4, you can actually sack the bishop on h5 and get this past h-pawn. Basically, it's only white playing. If you check the computer, it'll say it's even, but actually after a move that seems like relatively like a good move, like cutting off the bishop and opening up your own bishop, it's already like hard for black to hold this position. Black has to be very precise. Like I said, you would then go for this idea of bishop b2, h5, king d2, setting up rook g1, setting up h4. Just a nasty position for the black side. So that's my main prep from the white side. There's a couple other lines that I've prepped, and then I guess I'll just show you one quick line from the black side as well that I've looked at recently. Natso's been, here, let me do it on an analysis board here. Recently, Natso's been playing this line of g4 in this position. And so my main prep here is to go for knight to c6. And in the one game that he's had, he's gone knight a3. So suppose he goes knight a3, I will respond with knight b4. And most likely, I think he will play this move. Although he may find bishop g2, which I have a line prepped for that as well if he goes for that. But knight a5, knight takes e5. And now it's tricky because I'm threatening bishop to b4. If you go bishop g2, I believe I just have this move pawn to d5. Okay, it's e4 actually. I'm happy I looked that up. Yeah, d5, which is completely lose. But more than likely, I think he would play this move b4. And now black's actually got a lot of initiative here. You can actually play this move f5. And now there's no time for bishop g2 because you can cut it off with e4, and these pawns are just coming really fast. So the material is equal, but I think black is totally fine here. And there's a couple other lines that he could go into, but in general, that's just my main prep. This is a move that he really hasn't seen much, and so it'll kind of get us both into a fresh position there. But anyway, that's going to do it for the video. I just wanted to do a real quick prep video for you guys, as I always do. I have done not as much prep as I would like, but a lot more than what I've showed you today. It's just, yeah, I've been busy all day, and it was unclear if we were going to play our match today or not. So this is all I really have time to show you before the match starts. But please stay tuned for the match. It'll be starting now in about 4 minutes, so I'm going to go ahead and get ready for that. And yeah, you will be seeing that video very, very soon. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.